A Ford F-150 electric truck with only 25 miles on it, so brand new, marked down to $7,000. Americans don't want these crappy electric vehicles, no matter how much they are offered in tax incentives. A group of about 4,000 car dealerships are begging President Biden to tap the brakes on electric vehicle mandates because EVs are just sitting there on lots. Here is Tom Maioli from Celebrity Motor Cars, who was one of the dealers who signed this letter, and he explains it to CNBC.
And this is basically the voice of the consumer. This is not the dealer. This is the voice of the consumer. And what's happening is the manufacturer is being forced to produce these EVs. They're shipping them to the dealerships and they're backing up on the lots. You know, our average day supply pre-COVID was 60 to 90 days supply of inventory. During COVID, it was less than 30 because of the supply chain issues. We're now backed up to 12 months with EVs. Consumers don't want them. They're not buying them. We have up to $15,000 in rebates from the manufacturer and $7,500 tax credits. We're talking $22,500.
The host goes on to say that despite these deep discounts, they're just sitting there. He talks about a Ford F-150 electric truck with only 25 miles on it, so brand new, marked down to $7,000. Brand new Ford truck. That's a $20,000 discount. Listen how the dealer responds to that super cheap car that no one wants. And then listen how he makes the distinction between these EVs that the government's pushing out and, of course, Tesla, which is a different story.
Still can't sell it. Consumer doesn't want it. The consumer's in fear over the infrastructure. The infrastructure is not there. The White House and the Biden administration and got way out over its skis with this mandate, and the consumer has to buy into it, and they're not. And the problem that exists now is, they force the manufacturers to spend all this money to build these plants and produce these vehicles, but the consumers aren't buying into it. They're afraid of range. They're afraid of where they're going to charge. And we're not talking about, listen, Tesla is a vanity purchase. People have to have a Tesla. They have a second vehicle. Most people can't afford the first vehicle, never mind the second vehicle. And these people are coming out to the dealerships and they're buying these vehicles and they're afraid. These are average working American people. They're putting their families in the car. Moms are driving their kids to school. Dads have to get to work. And, if they have to charge on the road and it takes 30 minutes to charge.
Okay, so this host cuts him off, but he talks about how these are not the Tesla driving crowd of the Silicon Valley. These are working people who can't be bothered to stop for a charge, or they don't want to pay the extra electricity bill because they're already hit enough with rising electricity costs, or they just don't have the infrastructure in their town that works into their daily life where they drop the kids off somewhere and they go to work. They're not like my father, who is constantly running to the Home Depot to charge his Tesla at the supercharger, and then his wife has to pick him up, and then she has to drop him back off when the car is full. It's ridiculous inefficiency.